Alright, so got a snow day today. Figured I would take this time to make more videos. Why not? That's always fun. Um, it's funny, when I was a kid, I used to love snow days. It was like honestly the best thing in the world. And I still love snow days. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's way better than going to school, that's for sure. But I don't know, it's just not as drastically cool, I guess. Um, just isn't. Uh, and that's not what I'm going to talk about in this video. What's up? Anyways, that's not what I'm going to talk about in this video. I'm going to talk about something that is probably past due. Probably should have talked about it a long time ago, but this thing that people do, it frustrates the hell out of me. It frustrates the hell out of a lot of people. People have been stretching their ears and using plugs and tapers and stuff a lot more frequently lately. Society has deemed it cool all of a sudden, and with that comes idiots that don't actually know the proper terms for all this shit. And a lot of people have been saying gauging and gauges. There's no such thing as gauging your ears. It's called stretching your ears, you know. And there's such thing as a gauge size, but like for instance, this is not a gauge, right? This is a taper. And its gauge is 4. It has a gauge of 4, but it is not called a gauge. It's called a taper. And what a gauge is it's the size of the jewelry. It's how thick it is. It's how big it is from this angle, like this surface. It's how big that surface is. And there's all sorts of different, there's all sorts of different sizes of jewelry. Thus, there are all sorts of different gauge sizes. Like this is a plug, taper, plug, and this is only a gauge size of 8. So, the way that works is actually the smaller the gauge, the bigger the jewelry. The bigger the gauge, the smaller the jewelry. So, for instance, this is a gauge 8, gauge 4. Compare them. I don't know how well you guys can see the difference. It's not a dramatic difference or anything, but, I mean, it is when you're trying to put those motherfuckers in your ear, So, the sizes range between, like, 18 and 00, so it's like 18, 16, 14, 12, 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, 0, 00. They get bigger than that, too, but once it gets bigger than that, it converts to a different system, like 3/4 inches, 1/2 inch, stuff like that. So, and like I said, this is called a plug. It's just a standard plug, and there's different forms of plugs. For instance, this is a single flare plug. You know that because this end it comes out, so it's flared on that end, and on this end it's not. So one of the sides is flared. Thus, it's a single flared plug. Such thing as double flared plugs. It just means both the ends would come out, like you saw, and things like that. And it's not. I don't really care if you guys know the correct terms in terms of like double flare and stuff like that. We should at least know that this shit, you should at least know that this isn't called a gauge, because it's not. All right. Yeah. God, I can't even think of something that I could equate that to. It's so fucking stupid. It'd be kind of like if your friend got a new pair of shoes, and instead of saying, "Hey, I like your shoes," you would be like, "Hey, I like your inches." That'd be pretty cool, you know. It wouldn't even be like if they wore a size 10 shoe, and you were like, "Hey, nice 10s." Like no, it's not even like that. It would literally be, "Hey, I like your inches," because if you equated that to jewelry, if someone came up to you and was like, "Hey, I like your 6s," and they like pinpointed the gauge of the jewelry you were wearing, like that wouldn't even upset me. I'd be impressed. Like honestly, I'd let that fly. That's cool. But no, they don't do that. They just say, "I like your gauges." It's like I don't think people actually realize what a gauge is. So I don't know. Do me a favor, because all it does is frustrate me, and do yourself a favor, because all it does is make you look stupid, and just stop doing it. A lot of like studios, a lot of piercing studios or body mod studios, like They'll just, if you go in and tell them you want to start gauging your ears, they're gonna think you're a fucking idiot, you know, because they know the difference. Um, you don't. But but yeah, something honestly more frustrating than people that use the term gauges are people that actually wear fake tapers and fake plugs. And basically what they are is they look like tapers, but they're not tapers. They're I don't know. They look like tapers, but people that don't stretch their ears can wear don't stretch their ears can wear them. They screw apart, so you can put them in and then screw them back, and it looks like you're wearing tapers, but you're not. And tapers especially are fucking ridiculous, because A, you're not even supposed to wear tapers, and then B, you don't even wear tapers. They're fucking fake. And nothing's worse to me than someone that's fake, honestly. It drives me crazy. People do it with plugs too, and that's just as unacceptable. So I don't know. I don't actually know your views on that, but I think it's fucking stupid. And yeah. So I mean, if you see someone walking around with a pair of tapers in their ears, don't be like, "Ooh, I like your gauges." Like, no, you sound like an idiot. Say, and maybe be like, actually tapers, you're not supposed to wear those. So you look kind of silly, but I like them. I think they look cool. And if someone's wearing plugs, it's the same thing. I like your plugs. Your plugs are pretty cool looking. But don't be like, "Ooh, I like your gauges." And if you decide you want to start stretching your ears, then call it stretching. And if someone does stretch their ears and you think it's cool, then call it stretching. Don't say, "Man, I've been thinking about gauging my ears," or, "Hey, what made you think about gauging your ears?" Like, that's it's so frustrating. I can't even express how stupid people sound when they say that. So, it's like I said, do me a favor, do yourself a favor. You don't want to sound stupid. I don't want to be frustrated all the time. So, just, I don't know. If you're going to do that shit, then learn the right terms for it. Other than that, all the usual stuff, rate, comment, subscribe. I said in my last video, I'm going to start I made a Twitter and a Facebook page, so I'm going to start leaving the links for those in my description boxes for my videos. So, you guys should go like those pages. You can follow me on Facebook and Twitter. I'll do updates on those websites and put all my newest videos on it. You can follow me on that if you want to be cool. Other than that, I guess that's all I got for you. See you guys later.